Viola and Ferguson were going head-to-head in a footy match, and you interviewed them before the game together. Two of the greatest trainers the world has ever seen. Aidan O'Brien on the left, Willie Mullins, the champions of Ireland over jumps and on the flat, champion hurdle heroes, ASCOT Gold Cup hero at Cheltenham together. And you know what, Aidan? I said to Willie, Aidan's agreed to have a quick chat together. Yes. And Willie just said to me, Willie just said to me, whatever Aidan wants, I will do.
Yeah, okay. Thanks very much, Willie.
Tell me, I know you want to saddle your boy, but do you feel he's back to his best?
Yeah, he had 2 runs this year, Matt, and we were delighted with him. Last year we felt we were lucky to get him back to race. So everything has been good so far. A lot of people have done a lot of hard work to get him here, and great to be here with him.
Yeah, and this trip is what he loves, isn't it? 2.5 miles.
Yeah, we know that he gets the trip, and unusual horses, it's an unusual trip. You usually get past 2 1/4, and it's the last bit, then it's a lot of horses, it can change, really.
Aidan, as a champion hurdle winning trainer yourself and a great man over jumps, when you look at this figure here, is he impressive to you?
Very, very. I'm shaking standing beside him.
Well, that was just me, Aidan.
I think you've only 20 minutes left to saddle.
I mean, you want to saddle. If you want to go at any time, Aidan, just run, because I know you're particular about this kind of thing. Willie, you have saddled Vauban. He was brilliant here last year. He's been to Australia. He's been absent. He's come back. He's run okay. Is he as good now as he was last year?
I'm hoping he's better. Things didn't go right in Australia. He ran very well in York, ran too keen. We'll be looking for plenty of pace in the race today to get in behind. That's why he didn't let me organise with Aidan to make the pace for me today, but I tell you, there's not much pace in the race, and Ryan might have to go on and do it. I don't know.
I mean, Aidan has respect for you, Willie, but I'm not absolutely sure he's going to run this how you want it, just for you.
Oh, disappointed by them. Colin Keane, number one thing is going to be to settle the horse, and I just said to him, ride him whatever way you want after that. That's it. He's in charge.
And we heard what Aidan thought about you in slightly tongue-in-cheek, Willie, but when you see him and what he's achieved like that, as this unique man yourself, what do you make of it?
It's extraordinary, and the whole thing is extraordinary to come from being champion national hunt trainer to do what he's done in Ballydoyle, and then all his kids, to bring them up, and they're all, Joseph, Donica, and all the girls. Fantastic man.
Well, you haven't
Fantastic man, trainer and a man as well, family man.
You haven't done bad on the breeding front yourself. Well, good luck today.
Thank you very much. Cheers. Bye.
Well, good luck then to the Willie Mullins team. They all had a winner here earlier this week. Now joining me is top jockey Jim Crowley. Jim, I'm not riding in this Gold Cup. Come on then, horses are heading down to the start. How do you see it panning out? Because the tactics will be pretty key.
Well, it's very intriguing. Obviously, Kyprios is a very strong stayer. He's had 2 runs this year and won them convincingly, as he should do, in lesser races. But I would imagine, obviously, Coltrane won at ASCOT on his last start. But I think the ASCOT Gold Cup's 2.5 miles. A lot of these horses run 2 miles, and it's another half a mile. It takes a bit of getting.
So should we be looking at Vauban then, who we know is a confirmed stayer, obviously running at Cheltenham and the likes? So he's likely to push the pace as well, isn't he?
Yeah, I'm sure he'll go forward, and I would imagine Ryan would just want to take a lead. Obviously, like you said, Vauban will go forward. Coltrane won't be far away. He's drawn on the outside, so he'll always have his eyes on what Ryan's doing, and probably want to stay close to him. A lot of the others are held up, so I'd like to say Kyprios needs a good, strongly run race to be his most effective.
And if you had the pick of all the mounts, who would you like to be on board?
Well, you've got to go for Kyprios. I mean, although Trawlerman beat him last year, it was a funny sort of race. It was a different type of ground, and like I said, for me, Kyprios is the one I'd love to ride.
Kyprios for you then, the 1, 2, 3?
He'll win. I think I would say Vauban second and Coltrane third.
Lovely, thank you very much, Jim. So it's Kyprios the favourite then for Jim. We can see the horses then in the parade ring. In your picture there, Vauban looking the picture. He does amazingly, doesn't he, Willie? Getting these horses, winning at Cheltenham and then coming here, winning at ASCOT, then heading down under and winning or doing well in the Melbourne Cup. I know it's the one race he's desperate to win. Vauban, the hot favourite for that race last November. No doubt he'll be heading there back at back there again. But he looks a picture, doesn't he, Vauban?
He looks fantastic, and like touching on Willie Mullins is there, is a remarkable trainer, and like I said, it's his record over jumps is unbelievable, and obviously these horses coming off the jumps and onto the flat, it's fantastic. I don't think it'll be too long before he does win a Melbourne Cup.
You've got a good record over jumps as well, haven't you?
I don't know about that. I've had one or two winners, but I think my record's slightly better on the flat.
And what will these jockeys be feeling like as they're heading out for the big race? Because I know that we have big feature races, big Group 1s every day, but there is something very special about the history and the prestige of the Gold Cup.
Well, it's a great race to ride in. I've ridden in it against the mighty Yates. I was second in it one year as well on a lovely mare called Miss United, who just got touched off, beaten ahead and ahead. It's, for me, the ASCOT Gold Cup is one of the best races of the week, if not the best. It'd be a lovely race to win as a jockey, and it's a very exciting race to ride in.
And we talked about the history and the prestige. Thank you very much to Jim, as we're looking at pictures then of His Highness King Charles III. He's coming down to inspect the horses. No doubt he'll be presenting the trophy to the winner. Who will that be? We will be finding out shortly. So let's rejoin ITV.
A very warm welcome to everyone watching on ITV1 as the bell goes ahead of the big race of the day. You are very welcome for the Gold Cup here at Royal Ascot.
Today you're going to see a really well-behaved washball.
Well, I very much doubt that if she wins, but good luck, Clive.
Thank you. Lovely to chat.
Here is Keys Chorister. She's a lovely type. She's nice and relaxed, no sweating, no nothing from her. She's a lean, light kind of filly. Perfect for this kind of distance. She was second in the trial to Coltrane. Coltrane, I have to say, did look great. He's headed out onto the track. A negative would have to be Vauban for me. Let's have a look at him. He is quite sweaty. He's got a little bit of length in his coat still. I just think he's got too many question marks that he needs to answer, whether it is the ground, the class, and maybe even the trip on the flat. Probably a no from me.
Concern, Jason?
It's not great that he's getting a little bit agitated, and obviously he when he was here last, he was skipping round on the front end in the Copper Horse. This is a completely different ask for him.
I'll speak to Ruby Walsh about Vauban, or know him as well as anybody, in a moment on ITV1. We'll talk about Kyprios as well, the Gold Cup favourite. ITV1 is where you need to be for the Gold Cup. So here is the parade for the Gold Cup, led by Kyprios appropriately, who won it in 2022. The winner of 4 Group 1s, Ryan Moore for Aidan O'Brien, who's won this 8 times. Next up in the parade is horse 4, graduating from handicaps, Pridwen for Blue Star Racing and Keith Breen. Callum Shepherd riding for George Scott. They've never had a Royal Ascot winner. Big price. Here's Coltrane, such a reliable yardstick. Second last year, won the Ascot Stakes here before, 11-1 chance this year. Led up there by Ryan Gradwell. Chris Hanna rides that horse daily. Kyprios heads to post. Ruby. As we see Sweet William, horse number 5. Will it be a sweet success for him? Kyprios, the one they've all got to beat, from what you were saying earlier, Ruby.
Yeah, I think so, Ed. I think he's the best horse in the race, but what he also is not the easiest ride in the race. He has, Ryan will have to be very, very good on him, but I think he's a really good racehorse. If we watch him here last November on Champions Day, Ryan sent him off the bend and he went to the front, and when he got to the front he pulled up and didn't keep galloping. He got idle. Now this afternoon I expect Ryan Moore to wait longer on him. I think he'll sit on the boot of whatever's in front of him and deliver his challenge well inside the 2-pole. But Frankie Dettori also did this day on Trollerman, he stayed wide of Ryan. If he'd gotten over beside him, that would have suited Kyprios as well. It would have made Kyprios more competitive, and by the time Frankie drifts over, it was too late for Kyprios to rally. Now this season Kyprios has ran twice, as Francesca's pointed out, in lesser company, but the horse on his inside in the Navy is Queenstown, and Queenstown made the run in this day in Navan. Kyprios quickened by a furlong and a half down, and then at Leopardstown, Sunchart and Queenstown made the run for Kyprios before he quickened by them again, just going to the furlong pole. There is no guaranteed pace here. He's the best horse, but the best jockey in the world, Ryan Moore, is going to have to be very good on his back.
But the people who oppose him, Ruby, might say, how could he be as good as he was 2 years ago when he had that life-threatening injury? And also, has he got a quirk? You saw that race against Trawlerman. You saw him run to the stables in the Cadrin at Longchamp. He didn't go in once, you remember, at the Queen's Vase. Is that a worry?
Most good animals and good people have some sort of a quirk, Ed. So no, I wouldn't be too worried about him. I think he's the best horse. My worry for him is tactically how the race will develop. Will they go a strong enough gallop? Will Ryan be able to make it enough of a test? That's my only worry for him.
Keys Chorister and Vauban heading to post. I'll ask Ruby about Vauban in just a second. The King there ahead of the Gold Cup. Good news from his horse earlier. It's just a superficial cut. Absolutely fine after the King George V race, which is good news. Right, Luke, are they arriving with you down at the start?
The first one down, Ed, is actually Sweet William, and I was just talking to Rab Havlin. He said that's the best that he's ever gone to post. You know, he can be a little bit quirky. You can see there he gets a pat down the net. Rab knows him so well. The owners have been absolutely fantastic to Rab. They've really let him keep the ride on the horse. Got that visor on and a ring bit on him as well. I'm just having a look. If you look down the track, you can just see the other runners just ever so slowly just meandering their way down here, not wanting to do too much. Looks like Oisin Murphy in front on the Andrew Boarding train, Coltrane, who absolutely loves the game here. And again, he's got plenty of sheepskin on him, big sheepskin noseband that Andrew likes to put on his horses. And we'll just wait just as he comes down. We'll just get up. It's so lovely to get so close to these horses. He's got brown cheek pieces on as well. He's just been an absolute credit to everybody, and look at him there, absolutely magnificent horse, isn't he? Really, really got plenty of presence about him. Oisin Murphy just having a chat to the crowd as he goes down. Look at him.
What other sports could you do that before a big kick-off? There he is, chatting away with the crowd. Vauban on his way down, Ruby. Are you worried about the trip for him, and are you worried that he was just getting very warm in the paddock?
Maybe a bit concerned about getting so warm, Ed. I mean, when he was in Melbourne Cup Day was a lot warmer than it is today, and he never turned a hair. So maybe that's a good sign, because he ran terrible in the Melbourne Cup. So maybe he's in better form. The trip, I think he'll stay personally. He's a Triumph Hurdle winner, 2 miles and 1 as a 4-year-old, or just after turning 4. Yeah, I think he'll stay.
We're about to find out. Johnny Murtagh, a race you won 5 times. Before we left ITV4, Matt Chapman spoke to Willie Mullins, trainer of Vauban, and Aidan O'Brien, trainer of Kyprios. Described them as Guardiola and Ferguson. Which manager would you like to play for?
Well, first of all, I think Willie Mullins is a bit more diplomatic than Fergie. I think he maybe a bit more like Angelotti, you know, that kind of way. So
very
this is
cool, very cool.
Champions League clash. 2 brilliant trainers. I give Vauban a chance. I rode for Willie Mullins in the Gold Cup. If he just sits him in, cuddles him around there, and has one kick at the end, I think he'll stay, and he has a chance, because as Ruby said, he's going to be vulnerable there in front. Kyprios is going to be vulnerable in front.
He bolted up in the Copper Horse, you'll remember this time last year when the Edgbaston Test match was on and all the commentators were on Vauban. They all want to be off duty, Ricky Ponting and co, while Vauban bolted up for them. There is Kyprios. Jason.
Yeah, look, you think he's had a long time away, and to get him back real aggressive and looking so well is the key. The forgotten horse a bit is Gregory. I think that this extreme test is really what he wants. He'll be the one for me who's going to serve it up. If there is anybody who can lower the colours of Kyprios, I think it'll be Gregory. He's still got a big upward side to him.
Why not Coltrane, who's so reliable in races like this?
He is. He's super. That's him. He's super reliable, and second in this last year. But is he? You fancy him?
I think if I was going to have a bet in this race, I don't like backing favourites, so I wouldn't have a bet on Kyprios. I'd go Trawlerman and Coltrane at the prices.
Let's find out more about the market.
Kyprios 11 to 10, Vauban 6 to 1, but the each way player is Sweet William. I saw 18 to 1, now 8 to 1.
Nearest us is Enemy, who's won 5 of 35 races, once came 4th in the Britannia at Royal Ascot. Quite a contrast, this. Trawlerman, who's been pretty weak in the market, milling around the back. Is it Vauban there? On the far side, just moving forward. Sweet William is in. Good luck to Philippa Cooper. with Sweet William, who won the Henry II at Sandown in preparation for this, just as Big Orange did a few years ago before going on to Gold Cup glory. Jason.
And the horse on the inside has been he won the Derby trial at Southwell. He's been all over the world, globe-trotting. Enemy. He'll be played very, very late if he's good enough. And he's got an official rating of 110. He's about 8 to 10 pounds away from the best.
Here comes Trawlerman. And the Duke of Edinburgh here won the Long Distance Cup. Tactics will be so interesting. Will there be any pace? Coltrane comes forward. Won the Sagaro, as Estimate did in 2013. Here's the favourite. All yours, Richard.
Gold Cup, 2.5 miles. So they start on the straight course, go onto the round, and away they head. Sweet William and Enemy both given a little bit of time, and early on Trawlerman in the Godolphin blue moves to a narrow lead. Towards the outside is Pridwin in the orange colours, and towards the inner the gold sleeves of Gregory. Kyprios on the outside, black with the white sleeves, white face, settles in midfield on the outside of Keys Chorister. Pink jacket in about 6th place is Vauban. Enemy is towards the inner and the noseband. Sweet William and Coltrane are both ridden quietly towards the back, as it's Trawlerman under William Buick, who now sets just an even gallop. Trawlerman it is who leads early by 2 lengths from Pridwin in second, and neck or so to Gregory on the rails, and Kyprios, Ryan Moore, just moving him forward into a handier position, maybe mindful of old adversary Trawlerman getting too much track position early on of a steady gallop. Vauban towards the inside with Keys Chorister. Coltrane comes next, and then Sweet William and Enemy as they make their way up the home straight, still with 2 furlongs and then 1 complete circuit of Ascot to go. So inside the final 2 miles now, and Trawlerman it is who leads. Kyprios continuing to make progress. Ryan Moore just glances across and I think is going to try and do enough to get into second place outside the leader by the time the bend looms. He moves up on the outside of Pridwin. Gregory's holding the running rail with Vauban. Keys Chorister now just a little bit keen, maybe lit up by the response they're getting from the crowd. Coltrane takes that opportunity to move on to Keys Chorister's inside as the bend looms, with Enemy and Sweet William ridden quietly at the back of the field. So it's Trawlerman who makes the turn, with Kyprios in second place just over a length away. Gregory races third, Pridwin is fourth. Keys Chorister is the one that's forced a little wide round the turn. Vauban on the running rail, and then Coltrane, Enemy and Sweet William. So 1.5 miles to travel. As out in the lead it is Trawlerman under William Buick, leads Ryan Moore and Kyprios as they turn downhill. Gregory sits in third with Pridwin. Keys Chorister continuing to fight Benoit de la Sayette, and now we have the downhill run, and on the outside Keys Chorister struggling to be held at the moment. In 6th place is Vauban ahead of Coltrane, then Enemy and Sweet William, as Keys Chorister pulls her way right up on the outside here and will shortly be contesting the lead. So Trawlerman has the advantage. Ryan Moore casts a glance to his left and sees Benoit de la Sayette having an uncomfortable time, and Keys Chorister's going to pull her way right alongside Trawlerman. In 4th place we have Gregory just ahead of Pridwin, then Vauban and Coltrane, Enemy and Sweet William. So now Trawlerman's soft lead is just being softened up slightly by Keys Chorister sitting alongside and racing freely. Kyprios 2 lengths away, just intermittently nudged along, as is his wont this season. In 4th is Gregory, Pridwin comes next, Vauban is 6th, then Coltrane in the noseband with the dark sleeves, Enemy and Sweet William plotting his way forward from the back of the field. So now they climb uphill, and the sections will slow as Trawlerman, Keys Chorister sitting outside the leader now, but lost quite a bit of energy down the hill. Kyprios is in third, and Ryan Moore's moved out just to ensure that he doesn't get pinned in if Keys Chorister folds. Gregory's going to take the brave route, then Pridwin, who races in 5th place at this stage. Vauban is in 6th, Coltrane still biding his time, and the last 2, Enemy and Sweet William. Trawlerman now just begins to try and up the ante. Kyprios moving round the outside, wanting to come with one sustained run, is in 3rd place on the outside of Keys Chorister. Gregory, Vauban moving into the race, and then behind these we have Coltrane. Sweet William is one from the back with Enemy. Trawlerman with Keys Chorister and Kyprios 3 wide. Gregory pushed along as they turn for home in the Gold Cup with 3 furlongs to travel. Vauban comes next from Coltrane as Pridwin failed straight away. Gregory's under strong pressure as well. Kyprios moving into 2nd place, positioning himself to attack Trawlerman. Vauban sees both of them as he heads now down towards the final furlong. Trawlerman on the left-hand side, 2 furlongs to travel. He's joined by Kyprios. Vauban's under pressure. Coltrane the 1 pace, and then Sweet William. Kyprios on the outside, and Trawlerman ahead for head in the Gold Cup. Kyprios puts his nose in front. Trawlerman digging in, trying to rally once again on the inside. A Gold Cup jewel. Kyprios narrowly from Trawlerman, and Kyprios on the line regains the Gold Cup. same with the next two home, Keys, Chorister, Gregory, Enemy and Pridwin. Kyprios regains the Gold Cup, the third horse in history to do so. Ryan Moore positioned himself to have a crack at Trawlerman as they locked horns again. These two old adversaries. Trawlerman kept fighting, but Ryan Moore just had too much. Clearly didn't want to go to the front too soon as well. Sweet William third, Vauban fourth, Coltrane fifth. They're all good stayers, but they were eclipsed by a battle between Kyprios and Trawlerman that once again has gone the way of Ryan Moore and Aidan O'Brien.
What a remarkable racehorse this is. He won in 2022. In fact, he won everything that year. Then he had that life-threatening injury, that joint infection which he's bounced back from to become just the third horse to regain a Gold Cup. Anticipation did it in the early 1800s. Cape Tara did it in 1998 and 2000. Ryan Moore wins the Gold Cup for a fourth time. Aidan O'Brien for a ninth. In the straight, we had that duel from Champions Day. Trawlerman against Kyprios. I wonder what was going through Ryan's mind.
Well, I'm looking forward to hearing what he has to say. Pat Keating just loosening the overgirth on Kyprios after one of the most memorable stretch duels between Trawlerman and this mighty little horse. Ryan, we loved watching every minute of it. What was it like to be aboard him when Trawlerman came back at you?
Yeah, look, it was smooth early. I was where I wanted to be, and then the filly ran off with Benoit, and I was having to go around her, and he started travelling a bit too early again, and I got there going very easy, and he's doing that. He's more value than the winning distance, I said to Aidan, really, he's the fastest horse in the race and he stays the best. Just got to get it right. He didn't get it quite right, but he still won.
Right enough anyway. Aidan O'Brien, obviously, we talk about him all the time, and I know that he often deflects attention from any praise, Ryan, but he's so good at getting these horses to peak on the day that matters, and people could talk about winning a 12 to 1 on, etc., but this has been the day that's mattered for the horse, you, Aidan and the team.
Yeah, look, he's an unbelievable horse. Aidan's done, I don't know how many times he's won this race. He knows exactly what they need to do. He knows how to get in here better than anyone. Once again, I can only say I'm lucky to ride a horse like this, and it's great that he can come back and do it again.
Brilliant ride, brilliant horse. Well done to VSC, Pat and the team. Superb stuff. Let's head to Matt.
Michael Tabor has just won the Gold Cup in combination, of course, with Moigler. Michael, I mean, okay, I just want to ask you one question right now. Aidan O'Brien, he's brought 2 Guineas flops back to win the Derby, and he's brought Kyprios back from virtual retirement to win another ASCOT Gold Cup. What do you say about your trainer?
Genius is the first adjective that comes to my mind. Genius. What more can you say?
That's all you've got to say. Thank you, Michael.
Pleasure.
The genius that now has 401 Group 1 and Grade 1 victories, 89 wins at Royal Ascot. Willie Mullins had the 100 at the Cheltenham Festival. It's just a matter of time before Aidan O'Brien has 100 at Royal Ascot. For me, though, this is all about the horse. Kyprios, what a star, John.
Yeah, well, you can see, you can pick holes when you look back at, he's only winning those trial races, but Aidan does use those trial races to get the horse to the peak fitness and the peak form. And when you seen him walking around the paddock today, you knew he was on. He looked amazing, he was very fit, and as Ryan says, Aidan knows how to get these horses ready for these big races, and you have the best horse, but you still need to give him a good ride.
But getting him to be aggressive even in his mannerisms as an older horse, to see that little bit of fight and aggression in them is super bit of training.
Led in by Pat Keating on the left. Dean Gallagher, who was here the other day, rides this horse each day at home. Well done, Dean. Wiselaw on the right, leading in our Gold Cup hero again. Number 9 for Aidan O'Brien. Yates won it 4 times. Fame and Glory, Leading Light, Order of St George with that mighty battle against Big Orange. This was similar. Now twice with Kyprios. Here's one, the Gold Cup here at Royal Ascot. as you can see there, he's not the easiest. The Moigler team celebrating, who own this horse in conjunction with the Magners, Tabors, Smiths, and the Vesterberg team. Kyprios wins. And I just got a glance, actually, in pink. Anne-Marie, Aidan's wife's mum, is here, the matriarch of the Crowley dynasty. She's here, Mrs. Crowley. I don't think she comes racing very often. I don't think I've ever seen her at the races. That'll be Francis's mum and Marie's mum. She's in there somewhere, enjoying what is going to be a special day.
Yeah, to win. Listen, this is the highlight of the week. You know, the Gold Cup, and you know, as I said, he's not easy. This horse, he's not easy, and he's shown his
Which meant Ryan wouldn't want to hit the front too soon.
Yeah, well, listen, he timed. You could see Ryan. He was you know, he was beside Trawler Man. He was going through the gears. He never really went from Jason. Slapped down the shoulder, left hand. You knew when he pulled it through, it was going to be all guns blazing. He pulls it through here now, and he really asked him.
He waits and waits, as the Buick had already gone. He was up to about 3 or 4 Pro Cush Ryan for that final drive to pinch 3 parts of a length and advantage.
Yeah, and it was the same here on Champions Day, but Ryan, he knew what he had left, and as I said, the horse always just does enough when he hits the front.
And Johnny, what about the late great Galileo? Because this is what his penultimate, well, not this crop, but at the moment his 3-year-olds are his penultimate crop. He's only got one more year of 2-year-olds coming through, but this horse now at the age of 6, one of the great produce of him. Illinois yesterday was also a Galileo. We're going to miss the Galileos when we don't have them anymore.
I think they're going to miss them all right, but Aidan O'Brien, it wouldn't matter what you give him.
Go on, Pat.
I'd say he'd be well able to train the ones that's coming along. The no-name nevers and all the rest of them, Justifies and all them, but that's what it means to the team down there. Huge team down in Ballydoyle. A lot of people put in a lot of work, and he looks very cool, but he's like a swan. You know, he's very cool on the top, but I bet his feet underneath the water is going like hell.
Another Gold Cup for Ryan Moore. Trawlerman's run a screamer again in second. Got the better of this horse in the Long Distance Cup on Champions Day. There's Fiona Craig in the pink hat there, who manages Moigler. You might have heard her on the ITV Racing podcast a few times. Malaki Ryan's in there, who manages the stud, and the Coolmore team in there as well. Derek Smith nearest us. Michael Tabor. As always, John Magner, I'm sure, is watching at home. Congratulations, John. Just a brilliant horse, I think, to bounce back from that year in 2002. I listed the wins earlier. I mean, just what a year that was.
Yeah. And he looks back to his very best, you know.
He's a danger. Got to be careful.
No, he's very fresh horse, and I said they have him back now, and Aidan would have been, as I said, baby steps along the way to get him to this day. Today, John Magner loves the Gold Cup. The Gold Cup for John Magner is the pinnacle. You know, he really loves it, and he loves coming back each year with these great stayers, and the people get to know them, because you do get to see these horses coming back every year. But yeah, you can see he's got a bit of character about him, Jason.
Under a variety of conditions, he can produce that peak power performance.
Takes 2 to make a great race, and as Bruff Scott always says, the best horse races are great head-to-heads. Kyprios wins the Gold Cup, the well-backed favourite 11 to 10. Trawlerman was fairly weak, second at 7 to 1. It was Sweet William back in third at 9 to 1. But your eye was drawn to the front two, who settled down to fight it out in the Gold Cup.